What's up, Jets fans? Welcome to the latest edition of Jets Latest, where you get the latest on the Jets, Jets. I'm your host, the spitting statistician, Dane Martinez, and today I want to continue talking about the offseason, how we are going to build up this roster for 2026, hopefully to be a better year than 2025. One thing I know, 2026 is a great year for Jets Latest. Thank you to the 2,800 of you who have subscribed to the channel so far. Thank you for watching these videos, liking these videos, engaging in the comments. Tell a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend. If you have been subscribed, you know that in previous episodes, I did highlight the wide receiver position, but I don't think they're going to go after it in free agency, right? I don't think they're going to spend the money for an Alec Pierce or a George Pickens. Why? Because they've already spent $30+ million a year by extended Garrett Wilson, right? I also think with some shrewd moves that Muji made throughout last season, they acquired A.D. Mitchell, they acquired John Mechie. While those guys are not stud alpha wide receivers, I think they can perform just fine as what I think will be wide receivers 3 and 4. They have flashed, they have shown upside, and they are in their mid-20s. So I think for that kind of mid-level of the wide receiver room, Mitchell and Mechie will be just fine. You already got your Pro Bowl caliber alpha stud in Garrett Wilson. There is nothing to worry about there. I think the Jets are going to, via the draft, get their wide receiver 2, another young, explosive, big play kind of wide receiver. All right. And quite frankly, Darren Muji has been great at identifying talent. The last draft looked pretty good. So I want to talk about some wide receivers that I think could be targets, and should be on the Jets radar and your radar here on Jets Latest. First of all, you got to know there are two stud wide receivers that I do not think will be available at number 16 overall. Carnell Tate out of Ohio State and Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. The next guy on most people's boards is Makai Lemon out of USC. And this guy won the Biletnikoff Award for being the best wide receiver in the country. Had a great year. 79 catches, over 1,150 yards, 11 touchdowns for USC. He has drawn comparisons because of kind of his route running, his hands, to guys like Larry Fitzgerald and Jackson Smith in Jigba. Wouldn't that be awesome? Remember, the thing is, he is 5'11 and 195 pounds. So he is not this like typical X outside the numbers wide receiver like you hear people talk about, like you heard Aaron Glenn talk about with Adonai Mitchell, to be quite honest, right? He has experience working in the slot. He is a very good route runner, and he only had 4 drops in his entire career in college, right? So sure-handed, refined route runner, and can be explosive. I think this guy would be a perfect addition to the Jets. And what that would allow is A.D. Mitchell and Garrett Wilson to be on the outside and Lemon to kind of be in the slot. I actually think, plan A is to go ahead and, if he is there, take Makai Lemon with number 16 overall. There is another very intriguing opportunity that could be available at 16. Let's say Makai Lemon goes. There are some places that have the Ravens who are just ahead of us mocking Lemon, right? I think another guy who would be really good is up in the Pacific Northwest with the University of Washington. Huskies wide receiver Denzel Boston is someone that needs to be on your radar as well. He's right behind Lemon and most kind of draft boards. Here's the thing. He is that big body outside X kind of wide receiver. 6'4", 210 pounds, okay? 62 catches, 881 yards, 11 touchdowns this year. And then last year, same kind of thing. 63 catches, 834 yards, very consistent, 9 touchdowns, right? So kind of that history of productivity up there in Washington. And again, he is the bigger body wide receiver. That size and kind of contested catch ability. He's also very good at breaking tackles, that yak that is out there. And this would be a different play. This, if you had Boston on the outside, again, Mitchell is kind of a prototypical X. Engstrand tried to put Garrett Wilson in the slot at times, right? So if you have the big body wide receiver in Boston, him and Mitchell can be on the outside, you can move Garrett Wilson into the slot. If you get a guy like Lemon, he's more likely to be in the slot, and you put Garrett Wilson still on the outside. I do think A.D. Mitchell is going to be that number 2Y outside receiver out there, and that's part of why we like him. Mechie profiles as our fourth wide receiver on the roster, similar to Isaiah Williams, potentially more a slot kind of guy, a shifty guy. I do think Williams will be our wide receiver 5. He flashed late season, obviously the team MVP, obviously huge in the return game as well. But I think the difference between Lemon and Boston is Lemon is a little bit smaller, Lemon is a little bit shiftier, more of a little bit more refined route runner, and Boston is that big-bodied, go-up, point of the catch kind of mismatch on the outside. Right? So those are the two guys that I think are most likely at the top two targets for wide receiver for the Jets at pick number 16. There is one other name I think you should know about, and his name is Casey Concepcion, okay, over at Texas A&M. This is a guy who is zooming up draft boards. He is now in many places regarded as the number 5 wide receiver on the board. He, like Lemon, 5'11", about 190 pounds. This year at Texas A&M, 61 catches, 919 yards, 9 touchdowns. This guy has 25 touchdowns over his last 3 seasons, okay? The key with him is this guy is really explosive, really twitchy. He gets separation really easily and is a yak monster, okay? Over 50% of his yards come after the catch, all right? He is only less than 6 feet tall, but is good at the point of the catch. Known to be able, good hands, make tough catches as well. I would say that getting Concepcion at 16 may be a little bit of a reach. If the guys I mentioned, Ohio State, Tate, if Jordan Tyson's gone, if Mekhi Lemon and Denzel Boston have all already been drafted in the top 15, that may mean that another guy could be a target, that could have been a target for us is falling. Maybe a safety like Caleb Downs. Maybe an offensive lineman like Maui Noga, right? Maybe some other guys that could be best player available there. Maybe, oh my goodness, a Bailey, right? And because of if the top 15 are wide receiver heavy, I would not go down to Concepcion. I would see if a Bailey, a Downs, a Maui Noah, if that means one of those guys have fallen. And if that is the case, I pivot, address one of these other needs with another stud, and maybe see if Concepcion can be available for me at number 33 overall. But he is a name to know with a similar profile, excuse me, to Malik Lemon in terms of size and playing in the slot, as opposed to Boston, who I think could be the big body wide receiver. So those are some of the wide receivers I definitely think you need to know. Obviously, Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson are going to get a ton of buzz and publicity, but I think they're going to be gone. For me, it's Mekhi Lemon and it's Denzel Boston, and then there is a little bit of a gap down to Casey Concepcion, and if that was our menu and opportunity, then I wait until 33 and see if I can address someone else who must have fallen if 4 wideouts go in the top 15. So that'll do it for this episode of Jets Latest. Again, thank you to everybody helping me grow this channel, and thank you to your comments as well. So let's read some of them now. It's Oasis, a Jets Latest regular, says, the guy I really have my eye on is Denzel Boston with our number 16 pick. He's big body who would let Tanner continue to play Garrett Wilson in the slot. In my opinion, it's either that or take Tate at number 2. So it's Oasis. I agree with you. I think there's no way we're taking a wide receiver Tate at number 2. I think if Boston is there at number 16, he could be the pick just for what you said. If you have Boston and A.D. Mitchell, Garrett Wilson in the slot is a mismatch and a nightmare for defenses to try to defend. Jersey for Hawks says yes to Lemon, okay? I'm talking about Mekhi Lemon. I think Mekhi Lemon, listen, some of the buzz and some of the comparisons I've seen from Mekhi Lemon look really, really strong, so yes. And then Beto TS7 on says, just a thought. I feel like we dodged the bullet with Dante going back to college. We just have too many holes. Reese and Lemon with the first 2 picks is what I am hoping for. He's talking about Reese, the linebacker out of Ohio State, is looking really great. I think it's going to be more Reuben Bain Jr. at number 2, maybe a Bailey if he continues to zoom up draft boards as terms of an explosive high upside edge rusher. And then, he's mentioning Lemon at 16. I would be happy with Lemon or Boston at number 16. Both wide receivers who I think will be productive at the NFL level, highly regarded, and depending on the type of wideout you want. A slot, shorter wide receiver, more dynamic, or one of your bigger bodied wide receivers to play on the outside. So those are the wide receivers to know. Thank you again for growing the channel. If you want to hear more from me, the Spittin' Statistician, Dane Martinez, remember, I am the host of the FTN Fantasy Show over on SiriusXM, channel 87. You can catch me there helping you win your leagues and win that cash. I am also the host of in-game live on Sports Grid. If you're interested in live betting, which is all the rage, I got you there as well. Come on over, give us a check out, and if you see something, say something. But if you are locked into Jets, the Jets, Jets, I am here all the time giving you real analysis, real insights, real quotes, and hopefully realistic optimism of why 2026 can really be the turnaround year for the Glennaissance as we move forward. I'll be here all week, all next week, continuing to talk about roster building. But for this episode of Jets Latest, we out of here. Peace.